Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel, the place where we uncover the biggest secrets and untold stories of Hollywood. And today, we're diving into one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's most surprising what-ifs. Like before Chris Evans became Captain America, there were other actors in the running, and let's see which one in particular might leave you stunned. So grab your shield, hit that like button, and let's find out who almost took up the mantle of America's favorite super soldier. So when Marvel Studios set out to cast Steve Rogers for Captain America, the first Avenger, they faced a massive challenge. Because Captain America wasn't just another superhero, he was supposed to embody courage, honor, and patriotism. And they needed someone who looked like that, could handle intense action, and most importantly, he had to have the charm to make audiences believe in a guy who always does the right thing, even when it's the hard thing. That's why Marvel interviewed dozens of actors, from rising stars to established names. And the casting directors wanted someone audiences could root for, but they also didn't want a face so famous that it might distract people from the character. So some of the names who auditioned or were considered will definitely surprise you, like John Krasinski, yes, Jim from The Office. And he was so close to landing the role that he even tried on the Captain America costume. But ultimately, Marvel felt he didn't quite fit the heroic presence they wanted. Then another choice is Garrett Hedlund, fresh off Tron Legacy. They considered him for his athletic look and energy. Marvel also looked at Ryan Phillip, known for Cruel Intentions and Flags of Our Fathers. Actually he tested for the role, but didn't get past initial auditions. Then there was Channing Tatum, long before Magic Mike fame, and he was on Marvel's radar thanks to his rugged looks and physicality. But here's the twist, the most shocking actor Marvel considered wasn't any of these names. Reports and insiders have revealed that it is none other than Will Smith. Yes, the Fresh Prince himself was one of Marvel's early dream choices for Steve Rogers. I don't know what Marvel was thinking. But Smith was definitely one of the biggest box office draws of the 2000s, starring in movies like Independence Day, Men in Black, and I Am Legend. And his charisma and ability to headline a franchise made him appealing. But there was some problems, like Smith was already overbooked with films like Hancock and 7 Pounds. Second, Marvel was worried audiences might see Will Smith the celebrity, instead of Steve Rogers the character. Third, they are worried about backlash for race-swapping Captain America, and at a time when studios were much more risk-averse than they are today. And in interviews years later, Smith himself has hinted that he had turned down major superhero roles because he wasn't convinced they'd be hits. So let's imagine for a second that Will Smith said yes, and Marvel casted him as Steve Rogers, then what kind of effect it might have. Maybe his global popularity could have made Captain America an even bigger icon worldwide. Maybe the MCU might have leaned more on comedy and quips early on, since Smith's persona includes humor and swagger. Maybe the tone of the Avengers would have shifted dramatically, since Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark wouldn't have been the only wisecracker. And maybe Smith's Cap might have felt more rebellious, adding a new dynamic, with characters like Nick Fury or Black Widow. But it also could have meant a different trajectory for Smith's career, possibly missing out on films like Focus or Aladdin. And let's be honest, the chemistry between Chris Evans' Cap and Tony Stark might not have been the same. And we can't forget that John Krasinski's almost moment. Because in multiple interviews, Krasinski has shared hilarious stories about trying on the Cap suit, only to see Chris Hemsworth walk by as Thor and suddenly realize, oh, I'm not right for this at all. But his audition left a lasting impression, because it helped him land future action roles, like 13 Hours and Jack Ryan. And years later, Marvel fans finally got to see Krasinski in the MCU, as Reed Richards in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Then ultimately, Chris Evans became the definitive Captain America. But it wasn't easy. He actually turned down the role several times, because he feared the pressure of a long-term Marvel contract. But when he finally said yes, he gave us one of the most beloved portrayals in modern cinema. From the first Avenger to Endgame, Evans showed the growth of Steve Rogers, from a scrawny kid from Brooklyn to the man worthy of wielding Mjolnir. So there you have it, before Chris Evans, Marvel almost went in a completely different direction, with stars like John Krasinski and even Will Smith. So which actor would you have wanted to see as Captain America? Could Will Smith have pulled it off, or did Marvel make the perfect choice with Chris Evans? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe for more amazing Hollywood stories, and ring that notification bell, so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.